228, Truck 6, Truck 3, Battalion 3, and the on-call inspector. 2303 West 46th Street, number 208.
I want to welcome you to this episode of Sioux Falls Fire. I'm Division Chief Steve Fessler, and on this episode, we go to water reclamation for a prescribed burn with our wildland crews. We're downtown with the USAR crews doing some rope rescue training, and we get to take a nice tour of our newest station, Station 12. I hope you enjoy this episode of Sioux Falls Fire. So we're downtown with some of our USAR individuals doing their spring USAR drill, and I'm here with firefighter Jack Claussen. He is one of our newer individuals going through their technician level right now. So what all does that consist of, Jack?
So in order to become a qualified urban search and rescue technician, you have to basically take the classes of confined space, high angle open rescue, which is what we are practicing on here today, swift water, trench, and structural collapse.
Okay, how many of those do you have left?
So we have trench, structural collapse, and then some hopefully training next year involving ice.
Okay, sounds good. So down here today, like I said, we're doing a spring USAR training.
Correct.
Tell me a little bit what all you have going on here. I saw you were the one that got to go over the edge and doing a victim removal.
So essentially what we were simulating was being a litter attendant, and that was when we have that basket that's hanging on the rope. It's called the Stokes basket.
Okay.
And what we're working on today is just being the litter attendant.
Okay.
This morning we did one evolution where someone went down, and actually we had the dummy victim down, and they had to package them and ride up.
Okay.
But this afternoon we're just getting more experience riding up and down with that Stokes to try to transition the edges and really take care of that patient.
Okay. So some of the difficult things, tricky things that you get to deal with when you're doing that.
Right. So here on this parking ramp on the north side, it's open to the north. So there's ledges that you have to try to transition. And when you transition the ledge, it opens up to the next parking space.
You kind of go underneath and then swing back out, correct?
So you have to communicate with up above because I have no control of the rope lowering system. The lowering system is all from up top. So I have to tell them if the speed's good, if I need to go a little slower, and then sort of watch where I'm at so that the victim and myself do not swing too far under.
Yep. So it's a total team effort that you're working
Absolutely. Through. Yeah. So since they have control of me from the top of the parking ramp, I have to be able to communicate up and down with them to tell them what I can see or what I need.
So height-wise, this one of your tallest ones that you've done so far?
Yeah, we did this last fall for our rope class at the Palisades State Park, which was unique because that's a rock wall all the way down. So there's still rock edges that we had to transition. Natural. Where there was openings. So you really had to, like we say, trust your equipment and just let the rope and the equipment take you down.
Well, sounds good. Well, I won't keep you from your training much longer here, so you go ahead and get back. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Chief.
Hi, this is Brad Vosburg. I'm out here on the water reclamation today. We're doing a prescribed fire. We do these fires occasionally to take care of deadfall that is accumulated. This is very similar to an actual fire that we would have on the department that we'd have to respond to, so this is a good opportunity for us to train. Today we've got our recruits here training them on their basic firefighting skills for wildland firefighting. Today we had really good conditions for this type of activity. We try not to have too low of humidity and too high of temperatures. Today the humidity and temperatures were about perfect. When we write a burn plan for this type of thing, we have parameters that we have to stay in for that, and we were right in the middle today. On Sioux Falls Fire Rescue, all of our personnel have had basic wildland firefighter training, so that's why we're out here with recruits today, getting them up to speed on their basic training. And then if anybody wants to do more than that, it's on them, but everybody is to the basic level of wildland firefighter. We're out here at Water Reclamation today because they have a large area of open prairie and native grasses. It's a good practice to occasionally burn native grasses as they would have naturally. It helps rejuvenate the grasses and keep the thatch that would choke out new shoots from growing. It gets that off there. And then it also lets them come in thicker for a better habitat for wildlife as well. This type of vegetation fire is a lot simpler in complexity than the fires they have in Colorado in the actual mountains. We're pretty much totally grasslands here, and there is no timber really that we have to deal with. And what timber we do have is a hardwood as opposed to the pine trees and spruce and things that they have out there. So it's a lot simpler. Flame lengths are a lot less, a lot easier to manage and control. Even though these fires are simpler in their nature, there's still a huge potential for dangers to the firefighters. We still take all the precautions that we would normally. We deal with a lot of the teaching of that they don't want to get complacent on this type of fire. So when you think that the flame lengths are short and this is relatively easy, then all of a sudden the weather can change, and next thing you know, you have flame lengths that are high enough and danger enough to actually burn somebody.
Hey, I'm Jaydn Broughton. I'm a cadet here at the Sioux Falls Fire. We're out here today doing a prescribed fire here down by the Big Sioux River on the east side of Sioux Falls. So this fire is really different compared to some of the fires that we've done out at the training center. And one, you got a lot different fuel source, so our grasses versus our, you have your house materials or couches, carpets, all that stuff. This light grass really burns quickly. It can kind of get a run on you too if you aren't prepared for it and you don't use the right strategies. So there's different strategies using when you're in wildland versus when you're fighting in structures. So with how quickly this material burns, this grass, I was really surprised, especially when the sun came out, how quickly the grass could spot fire. So pretty much that means is jumping from the line that we had into a spot which we hadn't started on fire. So we had to really stay on top of that. So just how quickly those spot fires produced and how we had to stay on top of that stuff so that fire wouldn't loop around us and trap us in that area. Another thing that really surprised me was how quickly, once that wind did shift, how quickly some of that fresh fuel burned and could definitely hurt someone if you're not paying attention, if your crew is not communicating. So it was really good timing here. We just got done with our wildland training here kind of throughout this week, so this prescription burn was really good for us from learning it to also getting to apply it here to finally use that material and put it into action.
So in some of the recent episodes of Sioux Falls Fire, we were at Station 12, looking at the construction that was going on as they progressed through it. And now I'm happy to say that we have a completed station, and we are looking forward to the ribbon cutting coming up here in June. And right now I am with Captain Garett Dulaney. He's one of the captains out here, and he's going to give us kind of a walkthrough, tour, presentation of Station 12. Welcome,
sure.
Garett.
Thank you.
Right now we're right here in the kitchen area. Yep. Kind of let's start it off here. Let's talk a little bit about this station. It's somewhat of a smart station.
Yep, it is a smart station. We've integrated a lot of technology into this station to try and see if that can help us to be more efficient in a lot of different ways. So we're working through that and trying out some different stuff. It's pretty neat to be on the leading edge of technology. Right now we're standing in our kitchen where the crew prepares food, eats food. We, of course, buy our own groceries. We eat usually lunch and dinner together. Yep. Some crews actually do breakfast too, but yeah, this is where we prepare our food and eat it. And
basically, when you look at a fire station, it's like your home. It is our home. It's a second home to us. We live here for 24 hours, so we need to be able to eat, shower, workout, and things like that, correct?
Right, yep. All those things that you do at home, we have to be able to do here. There's 4 of us here 24/7, so that's what we have to be able to do.
And next to the kitchen area here, we have our parlor where we're able to sit down, relax a little bit in the evening. And what else we have in the parlor?
So yeah, we have, like you said, some chairs we can kind of relax in the evening. When we're eating, obviously it's connected to the kitchen so we can watch the news or TV. We also do some training here. There's a computer for guys to check their email and do the things that they have to do, log things. There's also several books for studying. They can study in this area, and then just some of our controls for others for the rest of the station.
Okay, well, let's move on to the crew quarters.
All right.
So now we're in the crew quarters, and like you were saying before, we have 4 individuals in the station, 3 different shifts. So we're looking at 12 different individuals living in this place throughout the different shifts And so each one of you, captains, FAOs, and firefighters, have your bunk room, correct?
That's correct, yep.
And you share it with the other captains that are on the other shifts. So you're here for 24 hours, and then they come in the next day. That one's here for 24 hours, and so on, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
So a lot of this is all the bedding, all the, the different things that you might have. So we have the lockers that you all share.
Yep, we have locker systems. Each one of us has our own locker. We keep our change of clothes, different shirts, workout clothes, that sort of thing, towels, and then also bedding. We change out beds in the morning. That's part of our process. In the morning, when we switch crews, there's house duties to do. We clean every day and throughout the day, and then we make beds and do those types of things so that we're ready for our shift.
All right, well, let's wander on to the next one, the workout area.
Okay.
So during your 24-hour shifts here, one of the big things that we like to make sure happen is that our individuals stay good and healthy. So during a shift, you guys need to get in a workout of some sort, and so we're in the PT room. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yep, so this is our PT room. Each station has one. It's an area that has several different things for guys to come in and do to stay active, stay healthy. Obviously, firefighting is very taxing, so we need to be in shape for that and just to stay healthy so we live longer. So we have several different weights, different weight equipment that we can use. We have several different exercise machines for cardio and that sort of thing. Guys do a variety of things. Some guys like to lift more, some guys like to do more cardio, and some guys like to do like a circuit type of thing. So
Pretty much they have the option of whatever they're going to need for cardio or weightlifting.
right, yep, that's correct.
All right, so let's move on to the apparatus bay.
Sounds good.
All right, on our way to the apparatus bay, we made a quick stop here in the classroom, which is also a storm shelter for you, correct?
Yep, that's correct. This is a classroom where we can come and study or train on things as a crew. We have a lot of different things that we can do in here. And then it's also a storm shelter for us. That's part of code now, is we have to have a storm shelter, a place to go if a tornado or something hits. So that's what this area is. The walls are thicker, and it's got a precast concrete roof.
Okay.
And then there's also a large shutter on the window to be able to secure it.
Okay, sounds good. Well, now we can move on to the apparatus bay. Now that we've made it into the apparatus bay, which is really kind of one of the coolest things about this station, is it's a very large bay for us, and the front doors are really cool, really awesome. So tell us a little bit about all that.
Yeah, so our apparatus bay is actually larger than any of the rest of the stations. It's a lot deeper, so we can put more apparatus in here. Some of the things that we're going to store here, some larger trailers and stuff, they'll fit better. So, and then the doors, this is our first station that we've built with these doors. They're a bifold door instead of the traditional overhead door that goes all the way up. They're a lot of glass in them, so it lets a lot of light in, helps with heating and cooling. And then they also open a lot quicker, so that helps with response time also.
Okay, so with those doors, when you see them from the outside, it's a spectacular view from the neighborhood, and I guess in my opinion, it really opens it up and lets the people see that we're here and are ready to respond at all times.
Yeah, absolutely. The windows, obviously, they provide a way for the public to be able to see in. They can see our apparatus. If the lights are on, they can see us working in here when we're responding or getting ready to. So it does kind of bring the public into the station in that sense.
All right, well, let's go on to one last room. It's the gear storage room where we put our bunker gear. So let's take a look at that.
Sounds good.
And the last room we're looking at here is our gear storage room. It's where the crews store their bunker gear. And one of the kind of cool things about this room is the ventilation system that is in here. How does that work with the gear?
Yeah, so every morning we come in, we take the previous shift's gear off the truck and put our own on. And this is an area for us to store the gear. Keeps it organized, keeps it clean, keeps a lot of the other things out from the rest of the bay from storing it out there. We don't get any diesel smoke or anything like that. And then this room has a ventilation system. So if we go to a fire and we're not able to get our gear cleaned right away for some reason, it actually sucks all that contaminants up and out so that it doesn't contaminate the rest of the station or the rest of the gear.
So this is somewhat held as a clean room for it.
Correct. Yep.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Garrett, and I appreciate you walking us around, and hope you have a great day.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Captain Bo of Sioux Falls Fire Rescue. We're here down here at Eastgate Towing doing some extrication training with some crews. We're from Station 4 C Shift. We're doing this because all of our crews need to be extrication certified, and we're giving them time to actually work with the tools and become better acquainted with the tools and the techniques to get people that are trapped out of the vehicles when necessary on some of these heavy accidents that we have around Sioux Falls. With COVID last year, we kind of want to get through a cruise through every year, but last year we were unable to, so we set up the last couple of months, and Eastgate's been very good to us about setting up cars for us to do this. So we worked each crew, one in the morning, one in the afternoon through here to set them up, show them a technique that if they're on scene and the extrication tools are a little ways out, they can actually get into the patient and stabilize the vehicle and go that route. And then they get to come out and use the tools, get trained on them and things like this. A few years ago, we were all hydraulic type tools. We had hoses and stuff, and they ran off the back of our truck, and we were kind of limited in our capability and distance on what we had to. These are electric now, battery powered, and 3 of our trucks have them on there. We pull them right off. We have extra sets of batteries. Batteries last about 45 minutes to an hour, and the tools are just as capable or better than what our hydraulic ones were. We're able to get to the patient faster. We're able to be able to start working on the patient instead of having to run hoses and have one person operating a switch. Now everybody hands on deck can be in there to work on things to get the patient out.
All right, for this episode's of Truck Check, we're going to take a look at Tender 2. I've got firefighter Chris Hofer here with me today, and he's going to give us a little walk around, talk about what's all on Tender 2, and give you some information. So welcome, Chris. Let's start off here with the cab and kind of talk through it.
Yeah, good afternoon. This is Tender 2, one of Sioux Falls' frontline engines. 4-person forward seating cab. We have 2,000 gallons of water on this truck. 1,500 gallon per minute pump. We have a deck gun on top, so if we have a big fire out in the roll and we don't have any trucks coming close by, we could knock it down with a quick knockdown.
How much did you say this one holds for water?
2,000 gallons.
2,000. So this is one of our larger trucks for holding water,
correct? Yep.
And for information, why would we need that much water initially?
We have some outer areas in town where we don't have any fire hydrants, so we have a limited water supply. So we'll roll these trucks. We have 2 of them in the city. We'll roll these trucks to give us a water supply. On the other side, we'll get over there. We have a drop tank that'll hold the 2,000 gallons and a little more even. Okay. We can fill the water in it, and then one of our other engines or trucks or whatever can
this is pretty
draft
much
off it.
A mobile water supply for us initially.
Right. So, and if we need more water because of the hydrant situation, we'll set up a shuttle and we'll get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, even some rural communities coming in to help us.
Okay, so let's move on. What do we got in this compartment here?
So this is some of our adapters for the truck to hook up to the water supply. We got some hand tools in there as well, some pry bars, bolt cutters, axes, sledgehammers. Driver's gear is always stored here, along with his SCBA tank, some scene lighting. Okay. Next one, we have our irons, our Halligan, and our flathead axe, chainsaw, for roof ventilation, or we could use that as well for wildland firefighting. Okay. Some more hand tools. Our high-rise packs, our 2.5-inch high-rise pack, and our 1.5-inch high-rise pack for taller structures in town. Okay. We have some wildland hose up in the back there.
The wildland hose, it's a little smaller diameter than what we normally use on, say, a structure fire.
Right. I believe that there is 1.5 inches, and we do have some 1 inch as well for fighting grass fires.
Keep on moving back.
In the back here, same thing. Our blitz fire for fire protection if we need to protect a building next to a fire. Our 2.5-inch smoothbore and combination nozzles. This is a hose jacket. If we would have a hose break, we can cover that up with that. And then our strainer for our suction if we're pulling a draft. Some more LDH.
Okay.
and a hydrant bag that's got all our tools in it.
What is LDH?
Large diameter hose.
Okay.
It's our 5-inch hose.
All right.
In the back, we have some ladders. We got a little giant, some hard suction, 14-foot and 24-foot roof ladder, some pike poles,
Okay.
and then an attic ladder, a couple backboards.
So what is this piece right here?
This is our quick dump. So if I back up to our drop tank or a pool, we're going to open that up, and that's going to unload that whole tank in less than a minute. The 2,000 gallons is going to come out right now. Yep.
Okay. Well, let's move around to the captain's side of the truck.
So behind here is where we have our drop tank. That'll hold about 2,500 gallons in that. It'll hold the full truck for sure. So that's what we'll set down. If we have a large incident or big fire, we'll actually set 2 or 3 of these down so we have plenty of water for the scene we're working on.
Okay.
Otherwise, down here we have some of our basic stuff, our ventilation fan, small generator if we need it for something, and then our EMS compartments. We have spare O2 bottles as well for our, or not O2 bottles, but our SCBA bottles for our SCBA packs in the truck.
Got our life pack. And
Our life pack, our Lucas, and then our basic first responder medical equipment here.
Okay. All right. You mentioned frontline unit. Can you explain what a frontline unit is a little more?
Yep. This truck is equipped with everything we need to be first response on a structure fire, vehicle fire, extrication, minus the extrication tools, but so it's got everything in it to do what we need to do to fight the fire if it's a house fire. So it's got the ladders, it's got the water, it's got the hoses,
Okay.
It's got all the hand tools we need for that.
Sounds good. Well, thank you very much, Chris. Thanks for running us around 10 or 2, and I'd like to thank you for joining us on this episode of Sioux Falls Fire. If you'd like to learn more about Sioux Falls Fire Rescue, go to siouxfalls.org/fire, and have a good day.